Well, good morning, folks. It's been a while since I gave you an update on the project here. We got busy with other things, doing the garden and just life in general, plus a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff. And haven't gotten much accomplished over here, really. And when we were sick with COVID, during that time, the project was silent, and a robin took advantage of the quiet time and built a nest under the carport here. I want to show you. The robin has built a nest up there. Well, she built that quick. They use scraps of bubble foil in the nest. Even in the critter world, bubble foil is catching on. Yeah, so as you can see, we've been getting some stain on it here. And we have all the perimeter enclosed. The whole garage is enclosed now. You'd never know that was sitting on piers, now would you? Well, when we started staining, we bought 5 gallons of semi-transparent. But I really wasn't happy with the results, so we went with the solid. We used a russet color, and I liked the color a little bit better in the semi-transparent. It had a little bit more red showing. In the solid, it makes it a little darker brown. But we did one side of it with the semi-transparent, and it bled in real deep at some spots and not so much at the other spot, and it just looked all patchy, really looked like crap, and it would need a second coat, and at like $225 for a 5-gallon pail. I really didn't want to do that. So I was doing the trim with solid, and I did a little scrap piece with it, and it covered with one pass, and I go, screw it, we're going to switch over to the solid. So it's a little darker brown than I had wanted, but when all of the green trim and the green roof and everything is in place, it'll look really good. Now remember, this was sitting about 8 inches off the ground. It's all enclosed now, and then this stone pack will be packed even harder at an angle. And you see where the drip line is there. I intend to put some concrete block or something at a steep angle. That way when it drips down and hits, it gets deflected in that direction and not just splashing up on the building. That's all metal. It's all enclosed. That'll get something on top of it, and then the stone pack will come right to the top. You see, I really like the way that came out. It was labor intensive, but I like it. The carport area still needs some work. That part there is all enclosed. I'm going to enclose that in the same manner. Then I'm going to carry this grate across right level and compact that. I'll put a workbench along that wall right there, and we'll keep some firewood in there undercover. And of course I got some outlets and lights and stuff I got to wire up. All the corner trim will be the same color as the walls. It just makes it less finicky when I'm painting things. But the trim around the doors and the windows will be green, and the roof trim will be green, and then there'll be a white drip edge, and then the green metal roof on top of it. And I think it will all work out real nice. I think it'll look good. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to finish all the unfinished stuff outside. Finish enclosing all the soffits and the overhangs, and make sure that the building is critter proof. This project came together pretty darn good for a mom and pop operation. Like I told you before, it was just the two of us, and except for the garage door, everything was done by us. Not one single nail has been pounded on this project by anyone but us until the garage door went in. The last time that I showed this project, I mentioned that we were planning on putting in a garage door. Well, there was a lot of discouraging comments in the comments section because people were saying, well, good luck getting a door. They've been waiting 2 months and 3 months, and you know, because of COVID, everything is just hard to get. And I was like, oh, come on. But they were right. I made some calls, and that's what I was hearing. 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out, 2 months out. And I'm like, come on, really? So I just kept calling garage door companies. I didn't want to mess with this. This wasn't a project I wanted to tackle. It would be easier for me to stay busy doing other things and let somebody else do it. Plus, put a little bit of money at the local businesses. That's kind of the way that I roll. So anyway, I call another guy, and he sounded really nice, and he was going, oh, I'd love to take the project, simple installation, but I won't be able to do it for 3 weeks. I can't put you ahead of my other customers, which I get. So he gave me the number of another garage door guy, a place called Artisan Garage Doors. Now, being an artist, I like the sound of that, so I gave them a call, spoke to a girl on the phone named Cassie, I think, and very, very friendly, told her what I wanted, got a price, and she says the distributor has a door in stock. So they had it in stock, and she says we could install it tomorrow. Now, I've been hearing everything from 5 weeks to 2 months, and I have this girl on the phone and says we could install it tomorrow. So, of course, I'm on it. A guy come out, guy named Clay, did a super job. Kind of the old school way of doing business where customer satisfaction is what it's all about. I was very impressed with them, and that's why I am saying this to you guys. And if I do another building with a garage door on it, which I might, I'll probably just hire them again, because that's not my thing. Dicking with that, too many nuts and bolts for this guy. I think the last time I showed you the inside, we were putting the T111 on the walls, and I am really glad that I went that route. This is a real solid wall, and any place that I want to screw shelving or anything to the wall, I really don't have to worry about hitting the studs. Not like it is using the OSB board. Yeah, that section isn't getting painted because that's going to have 5 foot this way, 5 foot that way, cement board on the wall because the wood stove is going to go in that corner. I'm going to have workbench all along that wall. Now over here, I'm going to make a little change. I didn't put the T111 here because the electrical box, the panel, was going to go here. And now I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those wires back through the wall. I'm going to finish this wall with insulation and T111, get it all painted, and then those wires are going to come down to the face of the wall. Electrical box is going to go on the T111, and that way it won't interrupt the insulation in the wall. It'll allow me to finish everything, and then later I'll build a cabinet over everything. So I think that's a much better plan. And as soon as all my painting is done and I'm done working in here, I'm going to compact this real hard, and then I'm going to put in some of this hard pack that I have, put that on top, and then compact it till it's hard like concrete, and then I'm going to put the rubber stall mats on top of it, the 3/4 inch thick rubber. Our goal right now is just to get the building finished on the outside, get it entirely complete. So now that we're back to work on it, that's what we're going to do. Well, our plans have changed since the last time that I had talked about this project over here. I had said that this was our 5th and final winter on the mountain, and that isn't so. We'll be staying at the camp for a while and working at this at a more leisurely pace and try to enjoy ourselves more. My brother just retired, and I want to spend more time with him. You know, I'm turning 60 and he's turning 65, I guess. And life is too fragile. So there's a lot of stuff I want to do, spend more time with my family, and working at this, taking a more leisurely approach to the project makes life more enjoyable. So, in fact, I probably will run my greenhouse right through the winter again. I didn't do it last year and I missed that. I just had a ball doing that the winter before. So, we're still moving forward with our plans and our projects, just at a slower pace. So what I'm going to do now is we were working indoors over here for a bit, and then I just stopped that completely. It seems like with every project, every place I've ever built, there's always parts of the project that remain unfinished. And I don't want that to happen here. So what I have decided to do is we are going to finish the exterior of this project completely. That means all the trim, everything painted, metal roof on, cupola on, everything completed before winter. Also, when I put the road in, I knew I needed drainage ditches. I need to put 2 culverts in, and if I keep pecking away at the building, those projects are going to remain unfinished, and I don't want any more unfinished projects. So I'm taking a little bit different approach, but the end result will be so much better. So, working on the building, I'm going to be digging all my drainage ditches. I want to get my parking area done up here. I got a lot of timber laying on the ground out back that we cut. I want to get an area for that. I want to get that milled. All of these unfinished projects I want finished. I'm going to stay living at the camp and then see how it goes next year. I mean, already I've been spending more time with my brother and starting to have some fun and kicking around the woods and doing stuff like we did when we were younger. And you got to enjoy your life. You know, life is so fragile, especially the older you get. And, you know, I still get medical issues. I'm going for another MRI on the 15th. So, as they say, I'm not out of the woods yet, you know. But that's the way life is. And you just got to deal with the cards that you have and do the best you can. And that's what we do. We always remain positive and pushing forward no matter what. And that's what we're going to do, man. So, you will watch this project get buttoned up and get some culverts in and the drainage ditches and just get the property ready for phase 2. And then we'll be bulling and jamming again next year. This structure sits about, I don't know, 400 or 500 feet off of the pavement. And you watched me build this road. And this road goes all the way down and then turns, and it goes down to where we're going to put the new house. I have trail cameras set up all over the property, and I have a few watching the road. And it is amazing how many critters walk this road. We're going to see a lot of wildlife when we live here. So the cameras that I have in the woods will pick up some animals, a moose and whatnot now and then. But the cameras in the road are busy as heck. This is like a critter superhighway. I have so many critters on this one camera right here. So let me show you all the activity this one camera picks up. Now these are the kind of neighbors I like to have. Deer are always in the driveway. I see their tracks here all the time. I got a lot of oak trees on the property, and the deer enjoy the acorns. And the leaves. Well, maybe not so much on those leaves. The turkeys are always here too. Sometimes a solo bird out for a stroll, and sometimes the whole band is here, turning my driveway into a block party. There's a porcupine, a pokey, named appropriately for many reasons. And a mama bear and her cubs strolling up my driveway. And they can keep on strolling. Move along now, nothing to see here. And that goes for you too, big fella. Keep on moving. There's another deer, always in the driveway, like I said. And here's a gray fox. He's here day and night, working on keeping the rodent population down. It looks like this one just left me a present. Well, thanks a bunch. Here's a bobcat walking in, and I wish I'd see more of them. And here's a coon rushing out, wishing he'd see less. And there's those who always prefer the less populated sections of my driveway. Always impressive to see. I think I gotta make more parking space.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.